Do you ever feel like you need a business do-over? Like literally you wish you could wipe the last 12 months away, start over again, and begin new with your business in a way that you actually felt confident and clear and convicted about what you were doing all over again? Well, today's episode is for you. So welcome back, everyone. I'm excited to dive into this topic with you today because, my team has been in hundreds and hundreds of conversations with business leaders and entrepreneurs, wrapping up 2024 and preparing for 2025. And the theme that we keep hearing over and over again is that business owners in general have a sense of almost a little bit of shame, guilt, embarrassment, and fear because their businesses slipped back over the course of 2024. Now, here's the truth. Major corporations have been laying off all year long. Many retailers spent the year closing hundreds of locations, and a record number of businesses closed this year. So if you're still standing, if you are listening to this episode today, I want to congratulate you, and I want you to know how special and how profound it is that you didn't give up, that you kept growing forward, that you leaned in, and that you're still showing up. Now, I also want to acknowledge that there's lots of business owners in our world and in our community that actually had their best year this year. Everyone's at a different place and in a different season and cycle in their business, and things just land and hit differently. It depends on when you hit your stride. It depends on what season you're in, when the market changes. And so everyone's in kind of a different place. But the one thing that rings true is that reinvention is an art and a science that will skillfully allow you to continue to rebirth your brand over and over again across the lifetime of your business. And we've talked about reinvention quite a bit on the show lately because the reinvention workshop is happening in just a few days. January 6th, we're kicking off the Reinvention Workshop. I have not delivered a Reinvention Workshop for almost 2 years now. It's been a long time, but this calls for a reinvention. This season calls for reinvention. I believe God is doing unbelievable work in your life and in the world. He's moving so many believers to claim their faith and to reinvent themselves, putting faith back in the conversation and building businesses that not only make them millions, but glorify God in the process. And so I really hope that if you haven't already, you'll scroll down below this episode and register for the Reinvention Workshop. It's happening January 6th through 13th. You don't want to miss this. It's a special combination of strategy, mindset, and faith leadership that's going to help you to catapult your new era. Now, let me share with you why reinvention is going to help you rebuild confidence after a hard season or a tough year in your business. We all know that when things just don't seem to be moving, the business feels slow, everything feels hard, and it looks like nothing that was working is working. So now we begin to question everything, right? Because everything we thought we knew is now not true. Has anyone ever had that moment in their business? I know I have. I've certainly had moments where everything I thought I knew is now not true, and it makes you question everything. In fact, there was a season in my business where I was really just going to decide to kind of not even attempt launching anymore, not even grow the business. I said, you know what? I'm just going to have like 25 or 50 clients in my legacy leader mastermind. I'm just going to focus on the multi-million-dollar business owners, and I'm just going to serve this little handful of people. And I can make enough money to be totally comfortable and happy. And I'm not going to deal with all this. I'm just not going to deal with it anymore. And of course, that mindset was not coming from God. That was coming from ego, right? Because in that moment, my launches were failing. In that moment, I felt like I was giving so much and working so hard, but the brand wasn't getting the recognition that I wanted it to. And it just didn't feel doable. I was not in that moment being unstoppable. I was very much being stopped. But before I made the decision, I went home, I thought about it, I prayed about it. And what I realized is that it was actually quite selfish and quite lazy to play small because I didn't want the inconvenience or the challenge of pushing through my own growth edge to find out what was waiting for me on the other side, which were all of my goals and all of my dreams and using my gifts and serving people and making an impact and being able to give generously and do things for others. And so I had to reinvent myself. I had to throw out everything that I thought that I knew, and I had to regain certainty and clarity and confidence in myself, in who I wanted to be, and who I thought that God made me to be. And I had to really dig deep and remember what I felt like my gifts were and what I was meant to do with those gifts. And so I didn't go and like burn my business down. I didn't change all my programs. I didn't change my price points. I didn't change the name of everything. It wasn't about that. It was an internal reinvention that had to happen inside me to remember who I really was. And I want to call on you today, wherever you are in your business. If you're at 8 figures, where are you called to go next? Is it multiple 8? Is it 9? Are you meant to sell? Are you meant to exit? Are you meant to start something new? Are you meant to sit there and pour into your team and enrich them and grow them? If you're at 7 figures, are you meant to go to 8? Could you help more people? Could you make more impact? Could you make a bigger difference? And the same thing goes for my friends that are at 6, or maybe you're just getting started. Waitlist for the Kairos mentorship is now open. In January, for the first time in almost a year, I'm opening registration for the Kairos mentorship. This is my most sacred and intimate space in my inner circle where every single week live, I help you to elevate your vision, to step into next level leadership, to live your faith and build your empire. If you've been looking for next level mentorship that is uncontested, peerless in the market, and you want relevant, timely, and updated strategy to not only grow your business by millions, but to live your faith and to step into next level leadership in your life, this is it. Register now, scroll down below this episode, click the link, and get on the wait list now. Reinvention is an art and a science. And the way it can help you to bounce back is the reinvention process works from the inside, then out. And it starts with really diving deep into your calling as given to you by God and really digging into assessing your gifts, assessing the things that were awarded to you for the purpose of deploying them, and asking yourself what the greatest use and the best use of those gifts could possibly look like, who you're meant to impact with those gifts, and then getting obsessed and focused and in tune with how to make a match between those gifts and the people that you're here to help. And this is when we begin the process of spiritual selling. This year is going to be the year of live launching. It is going to be the year of reinvention, and it is going to be the year of spiritual selling. You're going to hear me talk about this quite a bit. So spiritual selling is when you can completely detach from the outcome and you can completely be present to the gift that you have to share, to the needs of the person sitting in front of you, and being the catalyst, the change agent for good in their lives. And there's more to this conversation than I'm going to share here today, but I will tell you, we're going to be talking about spiritual selling in the reinvention workshop. If you're not already registered, get yourself registered now, scroll down below. Spiritual selling allows you to reinvent yourself over and over again, because you take all of the wisdom from that very hard year, from all of those things that in the moment felt like they were standing in the way of your success or holding you back from achievement or preventing you from becoming the person that you want to be. Extracting that wisdom and asking yourself, where is God calling you next? When God removes something from our lives, it's often to protect us. When he closes a door, it's to keep us from something that wasn't for us. And when he makes us wait, it's because we're not yet ready. And I know it's so hard to feel that. It's hard for me. I pray and I say, when, God, when am I finally going to be ready? I feel like I've been holding and waiting and working and praying. When? But things don't work on our time. They work on God's time. And so reinvention will help you keep stepping into whatever is meant for you next. And it will be an inside out transformation that helps you to remember who you are, how you're here to serve, what gifts you possess, how to deploy them. And when it comes from the inside out, there's conviction, there's certainty, there's passion, there's confidence. And that is what's needed to rebirth your business and to reboot your brand. But we don't stop there. We're going to use spiritual selling to move people. We're going to move people through inspiration, through faith, through hope, through who we're being and how we're leading. But it doesn't stop there. We're going to reinvent our businesses over and over again because we are going to meet people exactly where they are. The biggest disconnect that I see for business owners over and over again is there's so much in their fear and their frustration and their stress and their strain that they're not in the operating reality of the people that they say that they're here to help. And because they're not in the operating reality of the people that they say they're here to help, they can't get people to move. They can't get people to move because when you're in a state of fear, when you're questioning everything, when you're in your own conflict, it's almost impossible to move through inspiration and to transfer inspiration to another person who also by default maybe is in overwhelm or fear or uncertainty. You have to elevate your state first and then bring people with you. And this is what reinvention is all about. So the art is the beauty, the words, the energy, the aesthetics, right? All of the things that come with the way that when we do a rebirth, we represent ourselves to the world. And the science is the strategy. And what's so brilliant and so powerful about recovering from a tough year is that a small little 10-degree shift can put you back on track again. Usually it's something that's going on in here and then a little bit of messaging out here. And what I see that happens in the market and why I started talking so much and why I wrote the reinvention playbook is when you have a hard year and when you're going through rough stuff as a business owner, your tendency is to burn it down, shut it down, start over, abandon ship. That is not what you are called to do. Think about that Galatians Bible verse, right? Do not grow weary. Trust, believe when the time is right. You will reap the harvest if you do not give up. The problem is so many people give up. They burn it down. They start it over. They shut it down. They keep changing their offer. They keep changing their price point. They think that's reinvention. No, that's called panic pivoting. What I want to help you do is to truly understand the step by step process of designing a reinvention in your business that will recapture the hearts and minds of your audience, that will reposition your brand to win in 2025 and give you the certainty and confidence that can only come from inside once again. I cannot wait to take you through this process. I cannot wait to help you look at where that evolution needs to live for you in your business in order that you can create that alignment once again. Passion, excitement. I want you to go into 2025 and feel grounded, strengthened, led in everything that you're doing. And when you understand reinvention, you can do this process over and over again. You can do it on a small scale. You can do it on a large scale. You can do an internal reinvention. You can do an external reinvention. There are so many ways that you can reinvent yourself over and over again. And what will happen is, as you re-engineer the way that you're showing up, you will inspire other people to move. And so much of this is the energetics of certainty, the energetics of connection, right? Feeling locked into your purpose, being an energetic force field, having faith and trusting in what you're doing, but also being obsessively focused with the solution that you are bringing and the market that you are serving, right? It's moving from ego to God. And that is what this is all about. So I know a lot of you that listen to the show, probably 80% of people that listen to the show had one of their hardest years ever. 20% of people that listen to the show had one of their best years ever. For those of you that had your best year ever, keep reinventing yourself. Keep it fresh. Keep it sharp, right? Stay relevant. Stay timely with what you're doing. You don't have to wait till there's a slip back to do that. And for those of you that had a hard year this year, it's time to let go of the pain and the fear and the setback and the frustration. It's all par for the course. If you're going to be in business for any period of time, you're going to have all 4 seasons. You're going to have winter, spring, summer, fall. You're going to have seasons of expansion and multiplication, and you're going to have seasons of contraction and letting go and dying off. All of this is natural. It doesn't mean that you're not capable, worthy, or that something's wrong. It means you're going through the seasons and cycles of learning how to become a 4-season CEO. I want you to be the warrior that your gifts deserve. God created you as unrepeatable. He gave you gifts that only you can show up and use in a very specific way to be of service to others. And we can't shrink down to the level of the year that we had. We have to rise up to the level of the talent and gifts and capability that have been bestowed us. I am so excited to invite you to join me inside the Reinvention workshop. I hope that I'll see every single one of you there. I can't wait to spend time with you this year building your dream business, aligning your dream team, stepping into your 1% life with your family, and we have a great year ahead. So make sure you get registered for the workshop. I can't wait to see you there. It's time to turn the page on 2024 and start writing your new chapter for 2025.